to change a brush stroke, how to change the brush nozzle. Well, let's just quickly go back right to the start, and the key thing is just go here, brushes. Brushes panel, you can find that in the view menu, studio and brushes, and you can go here, just down to one of the brushes. Now I'm using dry media, could be any of them. And if you want to modify the existing brush, fine. If you don't want to, what you can do, you can right click and you can say duplicate brush. And as soon as you do that, you get a second brush, exactly the same. And you can double click it. However, create a brush nozzle. You can create a whole range of them. So here's a design, just a spiral design. Create that sort of design. Maybe go and create, say, dots. So I've got a dot brush here. I can apply this. Just create a very quick design like that. Go to File and then Export. And you can do this with all kinds of different designs. It doesn't have to be this. It could be shapes. It could be images, text, anything. File and Export. And just go for, say, PNG format. Just 800 by 600. Export. And I'm going to say this is called dots. Now, probably got, no, haven't got one. So dots 1. And that's a PNG file. Well, let's go back to this other document. And now what you can do, just go down to this brush. Now, sometimes what happens, it sort of has a memory where it sort of will not release it. It's very odd occasionally, but you generally can get around that. But sometimes it does suddenly find that you can't remove this sort of thing. However, you got general, you got dynamics, and you got texture. Now, this is the key thing. Now, you may have some texture. You might want to remove that, up to you. But here's brush nozzle, and here's the brush nozzle that I'm using with this brush. Now, I can remove it. However, I can't until I've added a new one. So click Add. Now, I've just created that one called Dots 1. So I'm select that one, click Open. And you can see the design there now, and you can see it's added. It gives a sort of fuzziness, so you can leave it. You don't have to remove it. You can have both. You can have 5 or 6. I don't know if there's a limit. I'm certain there is a limit. But you can remove it if you want to as well. You can simply select there and say remove. And then you've got that fuzzy brush. And again, if you apply it, now you can see it. Like I say, sometimes what happens, it just keeps the old brush. I don't know why. But you generally, by moving backwards, forwards between brushes, you generally get it to apply it as this. And again, what you can do, you can always say add, and you can go for another one, lines 1. This is another PNG file I've created, and you can see it's just made up of lines. And it's that design there. And again, you can create all kinds of different brushes just simply by changing this. And you can always remove this one. Again, now remove, and you've just got this sort of furry brush design there. And again, you can see now that this one has still got a lingering effect, even though you can see here. I'm not certain why that happens. However, click Close, and you can go back to, say, another brush, say like that, and then just generally go back to this one and just dynamics, change a few things like dynamics, change the size, etc. And now, hopefully, yes, now it's removed it. I think it's just a quirk where it sort of keeps it in its memory. However, you notice I've got wet edge. Don't particularly like wet edges, so just you can remove that, and you can change the colour. So let's just change the colour, and now you can apply it. So you can see now you've got your brush stroke there, and that's just using this here, brush nozzles in texture. And again, as I say, you can always say add, and you can go for another one. So dots or spots, click there, and that's added into the mix as well. And that again can be applied there, and you can see it as a result of there. And you can, of course, tweak it, go for white, and so on. However, say you decide, well, what I want, you've got dynamics as well. You can change all these. So you've got scattering, you can see again the lines, you can see the dots. That's all from this texture section. Change the scatter there, you can see again the lines. You can also go for hue jitter, change the luminosity jitter, and you can see that will vary for each of the things. It will randomly select greens, blues, etc. for the lines and those sort of things. So again, click Close, and now you can see what happens. It generates this design, and you can apply it very rapidly like that. And you create literally thousands of different designs all via this So just by clicking on there, again, go into the texture and changing it and just trying it out. Again, using this, but also just as easily, just using the brush stroke here as well. And you can do that. And of course, you've still got textures as well as sub brushes, and the combinations of those I will show in a future tutorial. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.